Hey everybody, Texas Joker here, Lance's Performance Shop, LoneStarMopars.com. Friday afternoon, got home from work, Friday evening I should say. We just took a look at some stuff from National Tool Warehouse. Again, prior to doing that Lyle stuff, I had done the EZRed neck light and the EZRed quad trays, which again I thought was individual four in one, you know, instead of 1 in 4 type of deal. But yeah, it's another end of the story, but it is a nice segue for this item. And before I get going, I want to tell you timestamps are down below. I have links to the products. I make nothing off of that. I do it solely for your convenience. And this shouldn't be too terribly long of a video, but it did take me a while to find this item. And what is this item? Well, it is part number WR10RD, and it is going to set you back 21 and change. Again, I'll have it linked. And this is from EZRed. It is their magnetic wrench rack. Now, this is something I kind of thought Mechanics Time Savers made these. That was apparently not the case. It's EZRed. And then it's sort of hard to find distributors for EZRed, so went this route. Again, some of this stuff you're going to see, you might recognize it from like tool trucks and, you know, similar things like that. But for me, we're going generic. We're going straight to the manufacturer, trying to save a few bucks. And there are two versions of this. There's this one, that's the WR10, right? You know, the 10 there, meaning 10 wrenches. And then there's going to be a 7. There's nothing bigger that I'm aware of. I assume if you had two 10s and you needed one to be 12 and wanted the other one to be 8, you could probably swap and fill those if they fit. We're going to be playing around with some of that. But the selling points here, they say that they're magnetically hold up to 10 wrenches. Individual magnet design holds any size wrench securely, allowing easy one-handed access. It's designed to magnetically hold from the center of the wrench, unlike the conventional V-style holders, which again, that would be like pretty much every wrench rack known to man. They're, you know, you got the perimeter, whether it's spread close or far, it's holding at the perimeter of the wrench, near the open end and near the box end, right? And then it's got heavy-duty anodized aluminum with magnetic bottom, assuring that it adheres to any steel surface. Same thing, all the sides. Right here, this is kind of a cool deal. It's very, got to give EZRed credit here. This is a smart way to do a side profile on the side of the box. That's sort of what you're looking at. So again, picture like a V-notch or pews in a church tilted back. After the Sunday morning revival, when you fire up the old 440, do a burnout out front in the parking lot. That's what happens to the pews. Everyone just gets thrown back. And, they are plastic. Again, they've got magnets nested in them. The rail itself is going to be aluminum. It's got magnets down below, kind of like some of the Mechanics Time Saver stuff we have seen. And opening her up, and this is what we have right here. So let's dump it, drop it down. That's not necessarily good. It's not really pulling it all through the mat, so that's a lot of magnet to have there. That's not creating like much of a pull, but we'll see. Right here they're saying get some today, the wrench pack connectors. So this would be the deal if you're like, you know, I need 20s, I go from 1/4 to 1.5 inch, you know, and 10 is insufficient. Totally understand, and apparently they thought of that or, you know, realized it later. So you would basically pop one of these caps off the extruded rail and you would get one of these connectors, and then you can slide that in. You could create 10 plus 10, you could create 7 plus 7, 10 plus 7, whatever you want to do. You could also think outside the box here with me, right? So, you know, you're probably picturing it like this in your drawer, and you'd have like your 1/4 all the way up through your, you know, 1 inch or whatever. For you metric people, you know, like your 6 through your 19, something like that. But if you don't want it to be this orientation, what if you turned it this way and had it laid out like that? Lots of possibilities, huh? You know what? Every time I've seen one of these online, like everyone has it like this in the box, right? And so the wrench goes from A to B. I kind of wonder if it's not better like that. Huh. I just suddenly became more interested in this. So this is a deal. What I thought this would be awesome for is AN wrenches, but as you very well should know, AN wrenches will not work with magnets because they're aluminum. But you know, like you always have AN wrenches, and then you never have, like, because they're thicker and, you know, they don't work in the trays and they're different sizes and they're not to the spec of the typical V configuration stuff. Something like this would be really cool for that. You would just sort of need like a larger plastic holder, or maybe even make it aluminum, you know, and just go down the line. But in my quest to figure out, you know, our organization stuff, this is definitely one of the products I wanted to check out. You can see we've got the EZRed branding on both sides. Why red? You're thinking you're finally caving. You're finally going to do what everyone else does. You're going to use this for, you know, metric or SAE and black for the other. No, I hate it. This would be great at work, you know, but I would prefer blue. I would prefer orange. I would prefer green. I would prefer black. Yeah, I don't want red. That like clashes with my whole existence here. And that said, I do think it's kind of an interesting product. Now, it could be a total letdown because we're about to find out what it does when we use it. And what I'm going to start with here is the Joker. So I've got these 13s that we're eventually going to compare and contrast. And does it hold it in place? Yes. It's not like if you hate the stuff that holds your tools super tight, you're not going to have an issue there. Like this will slide a little bit. The main thing is the extraction, and it's pretty fluid. Now the other thing though is, does it hold it well at all? Not really. So now the good news is you should never really be using this in a situation where that would happen. But if you were thinking to yourself like, I want this on the lid of my cart, that's going to be great. I can get the wrenches, you know, it would be oriented like this. This would also be another great layout for it like this. But as you can see, like just picture yourself pushing your cart across the shop floor, you're going to have some problems. So I think it's going to have to be utilized stationary. Like you could do it in this configuration, you know, on the lid or on the sidewall of a box, but you're going to never want to move that box, or you're probably going to have the vast majority of the 10 wrenches fall. So that said, sticking to this orientation, let's just go ahead as they have this. Let's stick some wrenches in, right? So I've just, again, these are all 13s. We've got Hazet here. We're going to just line them up just like they had it come out of the box. We've got Gedore. It does actually, and keep in mind we got a lot of real estate here, so you could like crunch them up there, spread them out here. It does actually kind of create a nice, you know, like space. This is something you'd still get to. Let me flip that for the OCD crowd. My apologies. That would not have gone over well. Where I thought that I could really use this coming up is when I have like weird wrenches that like don't fit in anything. And what would those be? Well, that would be half moon wrenches. It just doesn't happen. This is a nice selection of sizes. Basically, you know, 7/16 and 5/8. But where do you put these stupid things? Well, in the case of this wrench, it's going to be a little too big. Although you can kind of cheese it into functioning, especially if you like just swing the wrench up. Not the easiest thing to extract at that point, but if you were in a deep drawer, you could do something like this. These are just, they're hard to store any way other than just my rudimentary flat that I've done my entire life, right? So like, that's the storage right there. So that may not work as well as I want it to. You could probably stand that up if you wanted to on some other magnets, create like space so this would clear. Like if you had a full set of these and you had a deep enough drawer, I mean, like I'm saying, you would create like feet made out of magnets, right? So we would just elevate it, you know, the 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch, whatever you needed, where this would clear and not like drag. So I mean, it's definitely doable. It's just, you know, you're gonna have to sacrifice a taller drawer, or maybe you have it. In the case of some of these specialty wrenches, the oddball shapes and stuff, you could possibly have them in a dedicated side drawer. It's just, is it too slim, or are you kind of like wasting space that you can now allocate better and you're happy? But where I thought this could shine for me on recent purchases is these Gedore line wrenches. So as you know, these were like on clearance. I don't think they make them anymore. They're super cheap. They're not even on KC Tools' website, which that's how you know things are getting really bad. But I don't have a complete set, and I can't get a complete set of Gedores. We could, you know, stick in another brand or something. But this is what I have. And that actually does work. I'm not sure it's the most efficient thing, but it does get them up and out of the way. And in this case, it makes for great visibility. That 1 inch, I so wish they would have done that circle, you know, on all of these. The size is just so easy to read. I mean, case in point, if I flip the 7/8 around, you can see it there. But 3/4 is like microscopic. 5/8 is way bigger print than the 3/4. But let me kind of zoom in so you see better what I'm talking. This has nothing to do with the wrench rail, aside from you might have wrenches similar to this, where it helps having them angled back like this for visibility. Especially like if you're accustomed to having everything go 6 to 19, but then let's say in line wrenches or some specialty wrench like the half moons, you have just the most frequently used ones. So you've got like a 7 and an 8, a 10 and a 13, 14, 15, 17, 19 or something like that. And you're like, oh, this is throwing me off. There's only 4. What's the 2 in the middle? Well, you can see it way easier. The way it's, again, cantered back from the torque of your Mopar outside of the church sermon, right? So, it's definitely got some possibilities. And as you can see, we've got 7 wrenches there. I mean, let's just go Toro horns, you know, up to the world. Man, that just does not hold well, does it, for some reason? Well, it should. These SKs had horrible chrome when we brought them in. That one there, just, it doesn't want to do it. So the magnets could definitely be better. I'm sure that would ratchet the price up. And then some people are going to absolutely love how easy it is to extract this. Other people, if you put the really strong magnets in and they're like lifting the rail, they would be upset. So you have to find a happy medium for people. And ultimately, when you do that, you'll please a lot of people, but you'll have people like me review and observe, or people that, you know, I lifted a wrench and it came out too easy, be mad, or people, you know, that say there's not enough resistance. And it's a difficult thing to please everyone. That's why you typically can't. You know what I mean? But if you picture this, like some of you are like in love with, it's a great red anodize. I mean, that's to the credit of EZRed. Like if I was into red or wanted red, this is a super good looking piece. It's just, I would be much happier with blue, black, orange, green, you know, anything pretty much. I think some of the tool trucks you can get colors. My advice, if you like this, if you're sitting there and you think like, this is perfect for what I need, don't buy a set. Don't go, you know, like spend, you know, $250 getting like every combination you need in great quantity. Buy one of them. Get the one in and test it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't fit your wrench set. If you needed 2, buy one, get the 7, get the 10, do whatever. Get one in and test it before you go and commit to it, because you might think this is great, but I mean, you might get it and this might not be a thing for you. It could be something you despise. And always, you know, caveat emptor, buyer beware. It's a pretty decent product, and even if you're sitting here and you're thinking like, this is it, you know, my line wrenches, my half moons, you know, my, you know, like freak sizes that I don't ever have to use very often but need, this is the perfect way to have them in the box. Start with one, see if you like it, see how you like it, make sure it fits, you know, like once you have one, you can test fit everything that you're wanting. If you're thinking like, I need 12 of those, buy one, test fit it all, see how it works with your box, take it from there. So where this would really be cool, in my opinion, is oriented like this. Granted, you don't see the wrench labels that well, but like think of like the old Craftsman stuff where they're actually like stamped on both sides and easily legible. You can come in, you can still see that fairly well. But another place, and again, I didn't even think of it until I said this layout might be better. Like if you picture this sideways, and there's no way in the world this is going to hold. Especially, I mean, those 2 big ones, the 3 line wrenches are gone. Okay, these are actually holding quite decently, I must say. I've got it tilted a little, that's only so you can see it, but if I go full vertical, okay, it drops. So if they would come out with another version of this that's specifically designed to hold the wrenches vertically, like gravity is wanting to take this wrench and put it on this mat, right? If they would make magnets strong enough that would overcome that, you know, laws of physics stuff, I think that would be a good, like imagine this on the side of your box, right? Like you know what you do, you know what you need, it's assembly line, if you're an auto tech, if you're, you know, sitting there and you've got this at a station where you only rebuild valve bodies and transmissions and you need like 3 wrenches, boom. Like, I mean, something like this would be sweet. So what I want to do now is take you over to the box, and we're actually, I mean, like I said, that's a that's a lot of magnet to not be very strong. I mean, it'll pick a wrench up, but I don't know. I mean, it's probably going to keep it from doing anything crazy in your box. But like I said, I don't know that it's going to adhere very well to the side. But we're going to go test that, so let's make it happen. All right, so let me just tell you, I am not in a comfortable position right now, but what we have is the EZRed rail, and we've got a little SK that's probably like Ernst, I believe, probably would have made these. A little tiny gripper size specifically for this set of stubbies. But check it out. You can come in, and we're just going to populate this whole thing. Why? Because we can, and it'll sort of showcase it to you a little bit better. Plus, for all you Americana people, these little stubbies from SK, unlike the half moons, these have a really good chrome. The half moons were pathetic. Very just terrible initial quality there. But again, this is going to be a 7-piece set, so obviously, you know, the 7-piece rack would work way better. But if you've got like a couple of ratcheting stubbies, if you like me and you mainly do SAE stuff, you know, factor all that in. But I gotta say, like, it looks really good. Now, obviously, for the SK people, if this was available in like a dark green anodized, would just be the bee's knees, right? But I mean, in terms of me getting to the wrench, pretty easy to do. Obviously, with this big of a rail, we got a ton of real estate, so I guess we should showcase that you can adjust these, right? Don't quite need that much space here. And it is holding fairly well. This is not the best way to do this. I'm having to come in at a terrible angle, if you didn't know. There's just not a lot of space here in the shop. But you would want to adjust these when you're like not having to manage a tripod and have a box stab you in the shoulder blade. And lots of stuff going on back here that you don't know about. But you get the idea. You can size it. The fewer wrenches, the more you can spread it out if you're so inclined. I'm not sure if they sell these pieces individually. I would hope that they do. That would allow you, like, let's say that you needed 13 and you could fit them here when you're fine with the spacing, you would be home free. In terms of this, like, holding to the box, it's actually way better than I thought it would be. In part, this is the as-issued drawer liner, so it's just US General run-of-the-mill stuff. It's not super thick, but it's more than sufficient in my opinion. And this actually gets pretty good hold there. What I'm going to do is try to lift it from the back here, and we're going to go straight up. So it's holding them there. I'm now going to go open end down. It's just kind of like dominoes. So our 3 biggest sizes, 3/4, 11/16, 5/8, those are gone. 9/16 and smaller is holding on. But if we go full vertical, 9/16 is gone. This is just to kind of give you an idea. You know, the 1/2 inch and smaller, we're fine. So that's good to know. Kind of gives you an idea on the limits of this, you know, magnet capacity. The wrenches look amazing there. And again, the way that this cantered back, the design here is great. I just wish the magnet was stronger. But like for visibility, this is a pretty sweet little setup. Now, what I'm going to do is just ditch these. I know what's going to happen, and I don't want it to happen. These are still nice and in good shape, so we are going to do this. Cha-cha-cha-ching, right there. Sidewall front panel of the cart, and as much as I hate doing it, we're going to do it. Okay, so picture that, if you will. You would need a stronger magnet on the base. You would need stronger magnets here, unless it's like we're talking micro, like if we're talking ignition wrenches or something. Or like really, really fine, super thin, lightweight, you know, thin wrenches, maybe you could get by. Obviously, you wouldn't have them on this part of your box, but you don't know this is right above a drawer. It could be the back, it could be the side, it could be the lid, right? So that would be cool. It would need to be upgraded with better magnets to make that happen, but I think that would be pretty sweet little setup there. So again, you can orient it however you want to. You could have it sideways, like, you know, I was saying on the bench. You can have it laid out where you can see the sizes of the wrenches. It's a nice little product. It's not super expensive. There's definitely some ways we could improve this thing. Maybe they'll do that in later iterations. Obviously an orange one would have been super good for this box, but it is what it is. But yeah, EZRed Magnetic Wrench Rack. We'll try to find a use for this thing, whether it winds up holding those Gedore line wrenches, whether it's something totally different, whether we like use it to hold screwdrivers or bits. I mean, that's something else. You know, you got to sometimes think outside the box, right? So we got this little Torx key here, and if you kind of know what you have, right? I mean, you could do something like this. I'm trying to get that in the frame for you. Just pretty much anything magnetic, you can play around and see what you can do. But what I want to know from you, if you had seen these, if you have them, what made you buy them? Are you happy with them, satisfied? Are you disappointed? Do you hate them? Do you regret the purchase? Do you love it? Do you wish that they had bigger rails available? Do you wish they had different colors? Do you wish they had stronger magnets? Would you pay? Do you like this design well enough that if there was this base $20 version, would you come in and pay 25, 35, 40 bucks to get a super strong magnet that would hold this full-on vertical with huge wrenches? I mean, you couldn't fit a massive wrench here, let's be fair, side profile. But let's say that they made different sizes of this with different strength magnets. Would you then option out what you have? That's kind of what I want to know. And then obviously, for those of you that never knew this existed, what are your impressions of it? Is it something that's on your wish list? Is it something you kind of want to try out but are unsure of? And most importantly, for those of you that have this and have been using it, how's it held up? Are you having any issues? Do you have any regrets with it? Do you love it so much you filled your whole box with it? Do you like it but you found you prefer traditional rails or something else? All of that information is highly appreciated. Again, somebody watching this probably interested in it. We want them to make the best purchase decision possible. So with me, I can't do a review. I just got it. I can only like bench test it, unbox it, talk about the price point, showcase it. But yeah, like I said, if you are into red, this is, I mean, it's a great anodized color in my opinion. Keep in mind, this is aluminum, so it is anodized. Don't think you're going to get like a scarlet red or like some, you know, pearl paint. This is anodized, and for what it's worth, it's really nice, in my opinion anyway. Some of you will disagree. But yeah, that is all I've got for you. I got the battery light halfway down, so we're doing okay there. But LoneStarMopars.com is the website. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all three at Lone Star Mopars. Again, timestamps and links down below, all that for your convenience. If you don't know how this works, Saturday mornings 9 a.m. Texas time, Wednesday mornings 9 a.m. Texas time. I've got tool content Saturdays, tool or automotive stuff on Wednesdays. If you subscribe, if you load your charger up, jump it across the creek while holding the EZRed Magnetic Wrench Rack, fully populated, and don't lose a wrench, YouTube just might notify you that we've got new videos out. Otherwise, I encourage you to subscribe and ring the bell. And that is all I got for you. However, I know someone would ask, and it's not a good time to really do it, but it's better late than never. End-to-end dimensions 11. The magnet itself, let's call that like 10.5. So you got your little end caps there, probably about 1/4 of an inch a piece. Again, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can combine it. They've got a 7-piece. There's adjustable rails. There may be better places to pick up EZRed. I'm not sure. Again, I went with National Tool Warehouse. But yeah, that's all I've got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned a little something. And again, first-hand feedback, or even if it's second-hand, if a coworker has this and loves it or hates it, please leave a comment, let people know. But with that said, I hope you have yourself a fantastic weekend, and I'll catch you back here for more action from the shop.